Welcome back to another episode of Two Average Husbands. I am your host, Jake.
I'm your host, Kyle. Welcome back, everybody. Happy to be here with you for another episode of Two Average Husbands.
Kyle, what are you drinking this week?
I was gonna throw that line out there since it's usually my line, but then I was like, I just talk. I don't know if I'm comfortable with that, but I will just go first because that's the right thing to do now that it's gotten to this weird phase.
It is the right
So
thing to do.
I am starting off with New Holland Brewing Company's Dragon Milk Bourbon Barreled Aged Stout,
It's
which
delicious.
I am really excited for because it sounds delicious. I am concerned that it is 11%, but I'll deal with that.
Theirs are some of the Dragon Milk Stouts are some of the best readily available or I should say broadly available stouts in my opinion. I am drinking. It is a balmy 60 degrees outside here in Illinois. Thought about turning the AC on earlier today when it was about 70 outside. So I'm drinking some summery beers today in honor of that. So I am drinking Southern Grists Brewing's Double Vanilla Pineapple Dreamsicle, which is a sour ale with lactose, double the amount of vanilla, and pineapple puree.
There's so much going on there. I don't even know what to do with that.
I don't know what double the amount of vanilla means. I'm happy with it because I love vanilla, but I'm just hoping it's not.
I've got
chunky.
a baking tip for the audience out there. If you use artificial vanilla in anything that you make, double it in all of your recipes because artificial vanilla is trash, and if it's not real vanilla, you need to make more or put more in there. So
You know what I
your
learned?
helpful hint for the day.
The vanilla extract is like 40% alcohol. Can you get drunk drinking vanilla extract?
I don't know.
What's the
Never really
science
thought
there?
about it.
I need somebody to. If somebody is in the comments and can tell me the science behind that, so I don't have to Google it, please do. Otherwise, I'll Google it. I don't care. But
Also, you just reminded me of something else that I needed to talk about. You know what? I'll just use it as a topic for today if we have enough time. I'll talk about it later, or I'll save it for another time.
perfect. It's a nice color.
It's a nice color.
It's not what I was expecting it to look like. I figured it was gonna look like a Leinenkugel, like a shandy, just bright yellow.
I think I will just use that as my second topic. I like that now. Look at you, just sparking ideas for me.
That's what I'm here for, man.
But I think I have to go first this week.
You
but
do.
before we do that, I think it's worth mentioning a couple of NFL tidbits for the crowd out there, just because even the NFL season's over, big things just happened. Like, for example, Tom Brady just came out of retirement. Jake, tell us how you feel about that.
It color me the least bit shocked. Like, it was so clear that it was too early for him to retire. Like, I get he wants to go out on top, right? Who doesn't want to go out on top? But the man just had arguably the best season he's had in the past 5 or 6 years. He got really, really deep into the playoffs. You know, they were a playoff contender from the start of the season, Super Bowl contender from the start of the season. Like, there was no reason for him to not run it back. And I think ultimately, I fully expected him to come back. That's why I held on to any Tom Brady shares that I did have in football, in fantasy football leagues, and even bought a couple shares here and there, just because I was spending a back end of the roster wide receiver who I'm not going to care if I have on them anyway for the chance at Tom Brady coming back. I thought he'd come back closer to the season. I didn't think he'd come back this early, but
Yeah, 2 months. 2 months.
I think he saw that there's enough uncertainty in the league, especially in his division, that he's got another easy walk to the playoffs. Like, you might as well give it one more try.
Yeah, I'm really curious if the Bucks front office was just talking to him nonstop over the last 2 months. Like, dude, just give us one more season, because they were scrambling a little bit too, trying to fill that position and figuring out what exactly they were going to do there.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious because we also should probably mention as an honorable mention in this conversation of what the fuck is going on with the Falcons.
It's what the fuck's going on with the Falcons. What the fuck's going on with everything in that whole situation. It's just a cluster.
Yeah. Jesus, dude. And Russell Gage gets straight, they don't have anybody. They better hope they just have a complete rebuild at this draft. I don't know. I don't even know what their picks look like, but it is not going to be good for Atlanta this year.
They do have 3 picks in the first, or 4 picks in the first 3 rounds. They have a first, 2 seconds, a first, 2 seconds, and a third, I believe. I think the third was a compensatory pick that they got. So they have a few picks and they can do something, but it's you have a lot of holes. Your wide receiver 1 on your depth chart now is a guy who, was cut basically throughout this. Like he was a healthy scratch more often than he was active. Like
Yeah.
you don't have a deep roster at the position. You already had a lot of question marks. Cordero Patterson's a free agent. Like you have Kyle Pitts, you have Matt Ryan, you have AJ Terrell, one of the better cornerbacks in football. You have Jake Matthews, a pretty solid offensive tackle. That's it.
And dude, if we're being honest, like Matt Ryan, dude, he's not Tom Brady. Like, dude's getting old.
I still think Matt Ryan is good, and it's going to be interesting to see with the Deshaun Watson situation where Atlanta is apparently a front runner right now, which makes it's a hometown team for him. And I think if he basically gets to choose where he wants to go, and Atlanta being in the sweepstakes tells me that they either want to move on from Matt Ryan or that they think they can get a decent enough return from Matt Ryan that it kind of offsets some of what they're going to give up for Watson.
For Deshaun,
and I think if we see Carson Wentz getting moved for like 2 seconds and a third or something like that, or a second and 2/3, but the third.
What did they just pay for him? They didn't pay Philly that well for.
They paid him. They gave him a first. Well, it was a second that was conditionally a first if Wentz played more than 70% of the snaps.
Yeah.
So they gave up a first round pick for him. I don't remember what else was part of it, but like you just gave up a good amount for a quarterback. I don't think is bad. Everybody wants to knock Carson Wentz. I don't think he's not going to win you games single handedly, right? He's not a Lamar. He's not a Mahomes. He's not a Kyler. He's not he's not someone in that tier of quarterbacks. But like he's not losing you games. He's a top 12 quarterback by a lot of metrics.
I think we still have a lot of quarterback movement that's going to happen before the season starts.
Everything's going to wait until once Watson makes his decision. I think things are going to fall. But yeah, there's like 8 teams who could realistically replace their quarterback.
And then you've already got talks of Baker moving. There's always talks about Kirk Cousins moving around. Like,
well, they extended him at least.
True, that's true. But either way, there's a lot of quarterbacks. Anyway, I don't want to waste too much time on this, but there's a lot going on out there right now. Like, and again, too, just as a quick honorable mention, like if you don't know about Kyler Murray and the drama with the Arizona Cardinals right now, look it up. It's crazy. He's talking about going back to baseball. Things are getting weird.
He ain't going nowhere. The rumor, so I've heard some rumors, and it's basically just like supposedly the Cardinals didn't pay out the coaches' playoff bonuses as like punishment for something, and Kyler was upset about it. Like that's really what the drama is. Like it's not as big of a deal supposedly as everybody made it seem off the start. I don't think he's going back to baseball. I think that's a joke. Like he's a better football player than he is baseball player. It would be funny. It'd be hilarious. But he's a better football player than he is a baseball player. He's got a much better chance of having a 7-8 year NFL career after this point, like 7 or 8 more years than he has of even like 2 or 3 years in the MLB. Like just from a financial standpoint, stay in the NFL, big dog. Trust me. But yeah, there's a lot of movement to still go on. There's been some cool signings so far. Jaguars have been throwing money around like it's their goddamn job. But there's a lot of movement still to be done, and I think teams are going to look really, really different a month from now.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. It'll be fun to watch. The off season's like, it's so weird because it could be boring for a month and a half, and all of a sudden it's just everybody's fucking moving, and it gets really exciting. But
I love it.
All right, we don't need to burn too much time here. I just wanted to throw out a couple honorable mentions there since we're NFL fans on this podcast too.
Yes,
that being said, I've got an easy one for you, but it merits some attention.
All right.
I had this conversation recently. It's a bit of a debate for some people, so for some people it's very obvious. I don't know. What I'm here to ask you, Jake, beer bottle or tap?
Ooh.
Or can, bottle, or tap. Sorry. This is going to be so smooth. It's going to be perfect slide in there.
I think this is going to be a hot take. I think draft beer is wildly overrated. Everybody acts like draft is the king. For me, it's bottles, and then cans, and then draft.
Okay. I think I have to disagree with you, obviously, on this, because I don't think that keg/tap beer, however you want to look at it, is overrated. I think that it depends on especially if you're at a bar as opposed to just a regular keg or whatever. If you're at a bar and they have their CO2 fucked up, it could make the flavor shitty. But I think if it's right, keg beer/tap beer, by far the best.
But I think that variance has to bring down the rating a little bit. I don't think I've ever had 2 tap beers that have tasted the same. Like even if I am drinking out of the same keg, I don't think 2 beers taste the same. Whereas like
I think
if I grab 2 cans of Miller Lite right now, they are both going to taste like Miller Lite. Whereas if I'm at
yeah,
the
sure.
bar and I get a Miller Lite draft, if I get another Miller Lite draft, it's going to be different. It tastes different if it's a short or a tall. That's a hot take, maybe. The different size, it changes it.
That is a hot take.
But
I disagree with you. I think maybe if you go from one bar to the next and you have the same beer, it might taste a little different because of the variance in the way that they have their settings. But I think at the same bar, I have the same flavor coming out of the tap every single time I get a beer.
nope, I disagree.
You're wrong. You're
Yeah,
wrong.
probably, but yeah, I don't know. I like bottles. I've always been a fan of bottles. Cans are fine. There's nothing wrong with cans, but and I think that's where my draft gets the down rating is like I've had shitty tapped kegs before. I've had like shitty poured beers that are like just awful. But like with a bottle, you get what you get unless somebody left it out in the sun. It's not going to skunk. If it's a brown bottle, it's even less likely it's going to skunk. And it's just like you after you have the bottles, you duct tape them, you play Beersby with it. There's ways to make the bottles fun again. You shoot off bottle rockets, like.
But also, recycling glass in Tucson is a pain in the ass.
Well, I don't have that problem. I don't have to deal with that like you do, so
Well,
I just throw it in my recycling bin.
It used to be like that for us, and then like a year after we moved there, they made it so you had to take glass to a separate recycling center, like on your own.
All right,
So now we just like have these baskets full of fucking glass forever until we were finally willing to drive one over there and take it back. But that's not to disparage on glass, like from the beer tasting perspective, because I think shortly behind keg beer is definitely a bottle, and a can is 100% the worst. Like I feel like most people won't disagree with that. But I definitely do think there is a disparity between people that think bottles or taps are better.
Yeah, I don't mind. What I like about cans is when I have a bottle, I never want to pour it into a glass. But when I have a can, I do. And so as a result of that, I can control my pour a little bit more. Cause I learned how those who are like professionals in the beer world pour beer is very different to how you get a draft beer. They pour very heavy and they pour it like you're supposed to pour like in the center of the glass hard to dissipate a lot of the bubbles so that you're not like super bloated and gassy, especially when you're drinking a lot of beer. And if you're drinking out of a tap, the bartenders are going to do a bartender's pour, which is correct when you're drinking out of a tap. But like with a can, like you can manipulate how you pour it based off of your preference. If you like the super bubbly, you can get that. If that's not what you want, you don't have to have that.
Yeah, but you can make the same argument and say you could just get your own keg and pour it the way you want to pour it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but
I'm not talking about pour styles here.
But but the pour style changes how it tastes and how it drinks.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I'm not 100% on board with that, but I get what you're saying. That being said, with what Uncle Kyle just said, I completely disagree with Uncle Kyle on that one. I think can and bottle deposits are awesome because then they incentivize you to recycle. You're not just doing it because you're going to do it, but also it's like a nice little surprise if you wait long enough. There was a time in high school when my buddy had this party house and he had a basement just full of fucking cans. It was disgusting, but we finally cleaned it all up.
Smelled so bad.
Yeah, it was fucking gross.
Oh,
but we got them all fucking bagged up and we took them back and we got enough money to buy a keg. So we bought a keg.
Yeah.
It was a nice little surprise.
I was gonna say my grandparents live my grandma and my aunts like all live right on the Illinois-Iowa border, and that's what they do is they get all of the cans and then they drive into Iowa to.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, it's super cheating the system, but brilliant.
Yeah. If that's illegal, they don't do that. That was a joke. Cough, cough, cough.
I don't know about
illegality.
I don't know if there's a statute that says it's illegal per se, but I'm sure there's probably something that says don't fucking do this, please, because I think they use that money for I don't know, probably fucking schools or something.
Well, to be fair, they go into Iowa to buy groceries enough that I think it's fair. It balances out.
That's fair. I can't speak on the COVID piece of that, Uncle Kyle. I have no idea what it's like now in COVID to recycle in Iowa. I can only speak about it from back in the day.
You hear that, Kyle? See on the screen right there. I'm getting compliments. You're not. Thanks, Boyd. Appreciate you.
Hey man, you like have a higher Twitter following than me. People come here just to tell you that you're awesome. And
that's true.
I don't know what to say.
We had Tony last week. We got Boyd this week. My friends ain't fucking around. They're out here.
It's true.
But yeah, I don't know. Now the more you're talking to me, the more I'm wanting to get off of draft as number 3.
Yeah, cans are trash, dude. Can't like okay, can is like a novelty item because they're easy and you can just take them with you. You can make wizard staffs. They're like pourable for beer pong. There's a lot of good things about. Thank you very much. It's Mustache March, so if you didn't know, you should be growing a mustache right now. But anyway, yes, cans are good, but they taste the worst. That being said,
apparently a lot of the deposits stopped taking bottles.
Keg, bottle, can.
I think my final answer is bottle, draft, can.
All right,
I think that's my final. I think I'm pretty comfortable with that. But
I think you're a fool, but that's okay.
I'm just thinking about all the times like we would go to Country Thunder, and then fucking Dane's dumbass to be the one tapping the keg, and then we'd get foam for 4 hours before we'd actually get beer. Like
that is operator error. That is not
but that's what I'm saying is
problem.
But like that keg has to be included in draft in my opinion, and I have enough people who are shitty at tapping kegs that it's ruined my experience with some draft beers. That's why I'm putting it in a second.
Next time your friends get a keg, make them watch like a YouTube video on how not to fuck up a keg.
I think we did.
Because it's really not that hard.
Corona in a bottle with lime is unmatched per Boyd. It is very solid. I won't say it's unmatched. It's not my favorite like Mexican beer.
Corona in a bottle with lime is delicious.
It is delicious. A little salt in there too, though. Magic trick.
I don't really fuck with the salt, but I do like Corona in a bottle with lime. But you have to put the lime in and then turn it upside down so the lime flavor gets all the way to the bottom of the bottle, and then flip it back over.
Yes.
And then you spray a little bit of like, limey fucking mist into your friend's face.
Jess always makes me do it because my finger like can plug the hole all the way. Hers can't. So she tries to do it and just like spills beer everywhere.
Yeah, but anyway, I disagree with you. That's okay. I just wanted your opinion. I know you're wrong. That's fine. We can move on from that.
It's fine. Boyd talks the old upsy downsy. I think that's what I'm gonna call it now. I think I have to call it the old upsy downsy now. You're
like at the bar and somebody orders a Corona. It's like, hey man, you're gonna do the old upsy downsy? They're gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Uncle Kyle. So yeah, Uncle Kyle says add grenadine. I've seen that. I've seen people where you drink a little bit of it and then you add tequila to the bottle, either tequila or vodka, and then you put grenadine in it, and it makes it like an orangish reddish like color.
That sounds awful.
We're gonna try it sometime.
Just adding like cherry syrup to a Mexican beer sounds disgusting to me. But maybe I just need to try it and trust your judgment.
Now I want to put grenadine in the Bud Light Next though.
Bud Light Next is good. I am not sponsored by Bud Light Next, and I can tell you definitively that Bud Light Next is delicious.
But Anheuser-Busch, we want to be sponsored. We'll exclusively drink your product from then on the podcast. Semi exclusively. Any episode you pay us for. No free shout outs.
Depends on the investment.
Yeah. No free shout outs. It's a $10,000 plug right there. But yeah, that was a good topic to start on, and I think it'll be controversial to a lot of people because people get weirdly attached to the way that they drink beer.
Oh, 100%. People are very particular about the way they want to do things.
Like, if I'm being 100% honest, I don't care. Like, if I go to your bar and I order a Coors Light bottle and you go, don't have any bottles, I'll go, cool. What do you have? They're like tap or can. I'm like, I'll take it on draft or whichever's cheaper.
I do agree with you, but I just had this conversation with somebody recently because I've had a little bit of all three of those things recently, and I was like, man, fucking keg beer just tastes better. Just tastes better.
Yeah, Uncle Kyle says add tequila and grenadine.
I will say, on that note, that if you ever get a Blue Moon and you drop a shot of vanilla McGillicuddy's or vanilla liqueur or whatever into it, it tastes like an orange creamsicle, and it's fucking delicious. So if you haven't ever given that a shot, give it a shot.
Can we do that for an episode like that? Just, yeah. I'm in. We'll do that, and then we'll drink lunch boxes, and we'll decide which one we think is better.
Well, what I was going to say, actually, snake bites are delicious too, by the way, but that's just beer and beer. It's not booze and beer, I guess. But anyway, I was going to say, too, that you could just make me do the Malort that time, and you can be drinking delicious creamsicles, and I can be sitting there drinking Malort.
That might be the move.
I got to look while I'm out of town and see if I can find that shit around here.
I will look for you as we discuss my topic because I want your opinion on something as well.
All right, rolling into Jake's topic.
And this is, I don't think it's going to be controversial. but it could be because everything can be controversial.
That's
What is your opinion on quote unquote healthy versions of food? Do you think that it's okay to make like a less good tasting donut that has better like protein content, less fat? Like, do you think it's okay to like what's your opinion on like the healthier versions of food? And is it would you consider somebody to have a problem if they prefer the healthy, like if their brain is so flipped that they prefer the healthy version, quote unquote, to the unhealthy version?
The thing that pops in my mind right away is that Carly loves cauliflower crust pizza, which is obviously healthier than your traditional pizza crust. Um, and I don't think it's weird that she prefers that. I think it actually tastes pretty dang good, and I don't have any like super negative opinion about it. So I don't think that I would judge somebody for wanting a healthier version of something. I think there are probably some foods out there where I'd be like, why do you why do you think that the healthier version is better? Like, for example, we got a protein cereal one time and it tasted like the worst fucking thing I've ever eaten in my life. It was so goddamn gross. I would never eat it again. So if you told me that you preferred that over like a real good tasting cereal, I would call you a fucking serial killer. No pun intended, but intended completely.
Yes, there are some versions of things that taste really, really bad. But like I see it on TikTok all the time, and maybe that's just the portion of TikTok that I'm on where I like some of these healthy recipes because I watch what I eat a little bit better than I used to say the least. But like I see people who make these versions of food, and then I see them in the comments, and they're like, "I actually prefer this," and it's like as much as I love healthy alternatives, I don't think I would ever actually prefer it. Like the only quote unquote healthy alternative I prefer to anything is I very much prefer nut milk to cow's milk. Like cashew milk, almond milk, coconut
Yeah,
milk.
you should. Yeah, okay.
I prefer all of that to like whole milk, skim milk. And part of that is because I am lactose intolerant, so I just don't like the way it feels, but I actually legitimately just like the taste more. But I don't know if that's on like the same level
Well, some of them do have a
as
sweeter flavors. If you have a sweeter palate,
yeah.
I don't think that surprises me too much. Like, because almond milk, even if you get the original, I think it still has a little bit sweeter taste than like a cow's milk. But yeah, I don't blame you with that one. I think people that like eat protein pancakes or protein cookies or whatever, I think they're kind of animals. I think that tastes terrible, and you can't. For the most part, I would say sweets are kind of like the untouchable category. If you start
Mhm.
giving me like sugarless, carbless, oatless, whatever the fuckless cookies and cakes and stuff, I'm gonna be like, you're nuts, dude. I understand why you're doing that for your own health, but you can't tell me that it honestly tastes better. I think you're out of your fucking mind. I don't even really like donuts, and I would definitely prefer a sugary ass donut to whatever the alternative is.
Right. Yeah, I'm like I keep seeing some of these recipes and wanting to try them, but I'm like I love donuts. A donut that's made out of like Kodiak protein pancake mix, which I do enjoy. I still prefer regular pancakes. Like I feel like it'd still be good, and it's like a healthier way to snack. But I don't know. Like there's like I guess it's the part of like my palate could never prefer that. And
Actually,
obviously everybody's palate's different, but I don't think I could ever like have that be my choice.
Uncle Kyle just threw it out in the chat, and I've actually heard that keto ice cream is really freaking good.
Yeah.
So I haven't tried it. I don't know, but I have heard that that's true. But for me, like I've tried Halo Top and some other ice cream is like my fucking kryptonite, dude. Like I could eat ice cream every day of my life. And so I've tried Halo Top and a couple of the other healthy ones, and they were disgusting to me. So that's not true. They weren't disgusting. They were edible. I didn't hate them. That being said, I would so much rather have real ice cream.
Halo Top is such I hate a lot of like the healthy ice creams. That being said, vegan ice cream hits different. Vegan ice
I
cream is
think
so good.
like gelato, which is supposedly a little bit healthier. I don't know if that's true or not. Is actually pretty good.
I do
And
like
like
gelato, but
I actually do like froyo too. But no, I don't know how. I'd have to give the keto stuff a try. I haven't tried it. That being
I
said, a Bud Light Next, which is carb free, is 100% better than Bud Light. So there is one alternative that I do appreciate.
yeah, I don't know. Like the Halo Top ice cream bars are totally different than the ice cream per Uncle Kyle. I'll take your word for. Honestly, I prefer the ice
In
cream
terms of
bar.
what? Like the ice cream bars are better? Is that what you're saying?
Probably. I generally think ice cream bars are better than like a bowl of ice cream.
That
But
makes me cringe. I fucking hate that. I hate that for you.
I'm not a huge ice cream fan.
Oh my
I feel like we've gone
god, I
over
love ice
this.
cream. We have. We
I
have for sure.
like ice cream, but it's never like my go-to dessert. But I digress. What's your opinion on like like instead of having a burger, like having a turkey burger, or instead of like using ground turkey in place of ground beef or ground chicken in place of like like where do you stand on that kind of like,
Yeah,
because
that's a good question.
that's like a little healthier choice that you can make
Yeah,
without like
it is.
really changing food that much, but
The one example that pops out immediately to me is actually prefer turkey bacon to regular bacon. And I know that might be kind of a hot take, but I feel like the older I've gotten, like the more like distressed my palate becomes when I try to eat fat. And I think the quality of bacon has gone since like way down since I was a kid.
I can agree
And
on that part.
you don't get like super meaty bacon anymore. You get like 75% fat, 25% meat. And so now I look at that and it just kind of grosses me the fuck out. So I actually would prefer turkey bacon now to regular bacon, which is a little weird. That being said, though, if it's going to be like a burger, will I eat a turkey burger? Sure. Would I eat the Impossible Whopper, which someone just mentioned in the chat? Yeah, I'd give it a shot. I haven't tried it yet. But nothing is going to beat a real ass burger for me.
I am fully with you there. And honestly, like if you get lean enough ground beef, you're like the macros of it really aren't that different. Like it's just
Yeah.
people have such a negative connotation of red meat, which is in some ways valid. Like if you're buying the logs of ground beef from Walmart that are like 73 protein, 26 fat, like yeah, those aren't healthy for you. The fat content is high enough that the calories like are favored that way. But like I see these recipes and like people like you have to use turkey burger like or ground turkey for this. I'm like I'll just use 96.4 ground beef and it's like yeah, it's a little fattier, but like it tastes better.
If I have ground turkey in like pasta, like if I did spaghetti with ground turkey, which I've done plenty of times in my life, and it's one of those things where it's more of like the texture than the true flavor, because like there's so much sauce involved in that type of a dish anyway that you don't really taste beef so much as you do
Yeah.
just the texture in there and you get the protein. But I've never really had a problem doing that. But if it's like I'm eating meat to eat meat, then I do not want it to be turkey or chicken or whatever.
Yeah, we did like a turkey chili, which actually was pretty good. Even
Yeah,
my wife,
I
who
can buy that.
loves chili, she was a fan of it. Um, but again, when you throw enough seasonings on anything, it kind of tastes good. And that's where I stand with like the Impossible Burger, Impossible Whopper, and like anything Impossible replacement. Like being a meat eater, you know it doesn't taste like meat, but that's not to say it tastes bad. It's
Well, I
not my
think they actually have
favorite.
done a pretty good job of making it kind of taste like meat. Like I've had Impossible meat before. They have it at, I think it's Cadoba. They have like an Impossible meat for their tacos or whatever there, and I've tried that several times, and it tastes really good to me. So I can't complain too much there. And it's funny that I'm even making this argument because I've argued a few times in my recent days that I think I could be a vegetarian and be just fine, because I really don't enjoy meat as much as I used to, so to speak. But um, I I don't know if that's 100% true because like I got back from a long work trip and I remember just going, I really just want a burger right now,
Yeah.
and I went and got a burger. So I don't know if an Impossible Whopper could ever completely replace that for me, but I think for a majority like of my, um, just fulfilling my cravings for that type of food, I could probably go to like an Impossible style meat
Yeah.
and be just fine.
I couldn't. But I'm also like meat is a majority of what I eat. But
Yeah,
I also think that like I don't know. I'm I'm fine if you're like trying to eat healthier and like choosing those options occasionally. I just like I have a really hard time rationalizing that that is truly what tastes best to you. Like
yeah,
you're purposely diluting it. And obviously like I'm fine with artificial sweeteners, but like something sweetened with stevia does not taste as good as something that's not. Like that something that's sweetened with something else. And I like monk fruit's fine, like sucralose is fine, like these artificial sweeteners are fine, but like Nothing beats a regular donut. Nothing beats a good tortilla on a burrito. Like I eat these Olay Extreme Wellness wraps. They're like 80 calories, and they're a good substitute. But I still prefer a regular old flour burrito tortilla.
Have you ever had had jackfruit? Have you ever had
Yeah,
jackfruit, like jackfruit barbecue?
it's good.
Did you enjoy that? Oh my god, I thought it was the worst fucking thing on the planet.
Again, it's all about how you season it.
It grossed me the fuck out.
I
And
didn't.
it had been so oversold to me, like it tastes just like pork.
No, it doesn't
No,
taste
it
just like
fucking
pork.
doesn't.
You
It
have
tastes
to.
like sweet, nasty, mushy shit. I don't know. It was
You
not good.
have to season it well for it to taste good.
Well, we did
But
it as if it was like pulled pork, right? So it's just covered in barbecue sauce.
but you have
and
to
still
season it.
tasted terrible to me.
You have to. You can't just put sauce on it. Like you have to season it like you would season meat. So you have to use like salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, paprika. Like you have to season it, and then you have to put more sauce on top of it
Mm.
to get
I
it
won't
to
call
like
this person
replace
out by
it.
name, but Carly has like a really, really good friend that I think would be the best person to have on as a guest for this topic, because she thinks that all of the alternatives are like so good. I don't know if she just has herself brainwashed into thinking that some of those things are just delicious, just so like she can eat healthier. But she is like one of those people that eats like the alternative all of the time, like protein this, protein that, whatever, carb free this, carb, and it's just I've tried a few of her recipes or her suggestions, and they all gross me the fuck out. Jackfruit was one of them.
I do that too. Like I eat a lot of I eat low carb tortillas. I eat low carb bread. Low carb bread is really one thing that I don't notice too much of a difference on. Like it's especially like if it's toasted, it really is not too different.
Kyle, you're gonna have to expand on that in the chat and tell us why you do that, because I don't.
I'm in the same
He says
boat as
he-
him though.
So Kyle in the chat said that he prefers artificial sweeteners, 10,000%, 10,000%. And I don't understand that, because I think artificial sweeteners. I don't know. I think real sugar has always tasted better.
When it comes to drinks specifically, I'm to the point where I've had like diet sodas or low carb energy drinks, anything like that, so frequently that if I drink like Coke, the sugar literally gives me heartburn because my body's not used to having that much sugar. Like, and it just tastes like so sweet. That said, artificial sweeteners can get tricky, especially if you're eating something sweet with it, because it changes the way that your body receives the artificial sweetener, and then it can taste kind of gross. Like I don't know.
I just know that there's a whole like movement amongst soda companies that to go back to raw, real sugars, because there was such a taste difference that people actually preferred that, and they went back to it. Which I guess I shouldn't say that was really a movement per se, because I think that kind of fell off. Actually, I think people just kind of tolerated artificial sweeteners because it was cheaper, because they were charging a premium to give you real sugar, which was kind of bullshit.
I get that. So he said I don't like sugar because it doesn't dissolve. I get that in like tea, iced tea. I definitely prefer my iced tea with sweet and low to sugar.
You'd be a disappointment to everybody in the South.
I also love sweet tea, so Southerners don't take that the wrong way.
I was gonna say, I thought you were gonna say Southerners are wrong about sweet tea, and I was gonna hang up the fucking call.
Nope.
Because nobody does it better than the South.
No, absolutely not. The best sweet tea I've ever had has been when I've been in the South, and like random restaurants too. It's never your like Milo's sweet tea. That's like become kind of a national thing now. I think they've started to distribute it all around the country, and it's good. But it's like the mom and pop places, theirs hits different.
Well, it's funny because like if you go to anywhere in the North and you ask for a sweet tea, they'll give you an unsweetened tea and like a couple fucking packets of like Splenda. And you're like, what the fuck is
I'm
this?
fine with that.
And you go down south and you ask for like an unsweetened tea, and they're like, "You're a
you
fucking
okay?
animal. Get out of here."
Yeah, they're like, they lean over the table. They're like, "Is everything okay at home? Like, is everything all right?"
Dude, speak of the devil, I went to a Chick-fil-A. I'm in the South right now, and I went to a Chick-fil-A recently, and their sweet tea is good. Oh my god, it's good.
I don't think I've ever gotten tea from.
And it tastes different
Chick-fil-A.
than sweet tea in the North. 100%.
I'm sure of it.
Chick-fil-A sweet tea.
I believe it.
I
I
think it's
don't.
different.
I don't disagree with
They
you.
add
there.
like an extra cup or two
Yeah,
of
I was
sugar
gonna
or
say,
something. I don't know. But
There's
it's
4
super
extra
good.
cups of sugar in there.
Probably is.
But yeah, I just wanted to get your opinion on that, just because I've been seeing it a lot on TikTok recently, and I think people have just like chosen that, like they've kind of forced themselves to quote unquote prefer that style of eating because they're so focused on their life. But I'm very much the advocate of I'd rather have a real ass burrito and then just have like plain chicken breast earlier in the day so that I can have the giant ass burrito later on. Like it's
Yeah.
all about balance. You shouldn't exclusively be eating healthy foods just because. This is an important question, and the question is spicy chicken sandwich or regular Chick-fil-A sandwich, and the answer is always spicy.
Always.
I will never not order a spicy. If I have the choice of spicy and not spicy for something, I will always pick spicy.
I went to a Chick-fil-A here, by the way, and their numbers system is different for whatever reason than every other Chick-fil-A. Because I always get a number 2, no tomato, which is your spicy chicken sandwich, no tomato, because I fucking hate tomato. And here, it was like a number 10. I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing down here, you crazy people?
Respect.
But spicy always.
Boyd agrees. That's what we were hoping to hear. Always spicy. Spicy's always the way to go. That's just life. I will always take a spicier hot sauce. I will always take a spicier salsa. Always spicy.
There's a limit for me.
Nope, there's not for me.
But it's not like a limit that I want to impose on myself. It's just I get the hot hiccups. And if I get the hot hiccups, I can't enjoy food. Like I have a bite of something that's too hot for my stomach to handle, and my stomach is just like, whoop, whoop,
I get that.
which is terrible.
But yeah, I just wanted to talk about it. So we talked about it. Are you done with your first beer?
Yeah, I think I have like some crumblies in here. Yeah,
right.
this is a tough one, but I'm gonna give it a 7.4. 7.4 because
I like that.
I think
about what I would rate it.
Good, and I believe you that this is probably like a very easy grab this off the shelf, drink it anytime.
Yeah.
It's pretty freaking, it's pretty good if you were gonna set a standard for like a stout. That being said, I've had a lot better, so I won't put it into the 8s, but it is good.
Yeah, it's again, it's a nationally available one. It's always going to be not as great as some of like the more niche ones.
If you like bourbon stouts or bourbon aged stouts or whatever too, that's definitely it's good.
Yeah,
I would recommend it.
It's definitely it's good, but it's nowhere near the top tier. If that's somebody's favorite stout, I've got questions.
Boyd, I think Chick-fil-A does have spicy nuggets. I could be
Regionally.
wrong, but I feel like I've seen those before.
I think it's regionally. Like certain locations have them, certain ones don't. I
I
know they
think
have
they have
spicy
them in Arizona.
strips. I don't know about the nuggets. I know about the strips.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I've seen those at Tucson before.
I believe you. I haven't seen them up here in Illinois. All right. So I'm going to give mine. Kyle, this is a sour that you could drink. It's not sour. It was very good. It was creamy. But it had like the taste of pineapple too. I think you could drink it.
I went to my aunt's house recently, and she was drinking I don't even think it was a stout, but it said on there like a slightly sour beer or something like that. And I almost threw up just thinking about taking a sip. Like I don't fuck around with sours.
If I poured you this and told you it was like a shandy, I think you wouldn't notice that it was sour. Like
Then it's not a sour.
But it is.
A sour is so unappealing to me that it's not even funny.
I've got some good ones for you. But to me, this was a 7.8. I'm gonna give that a
7.8.
strong score. This would be a very good by the pool beer.
Okay.
All right, what's your second beer before we hop into your second topic?
My second beer is the Lexington Brewing and Distilling Company Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale, established in 1999.
You love to see it.
Love to see it.
I am drinking Weldworks Brewing Co. their Blueberry Cobbler Berliner and Sour Wheat Ale, which is brewed with blueberry, vanilla, milk sugar, and graham cracker. So I'm, again, very intrigued. This one's lower alcohol content, though. It's only 4.8%, so I always get worried about the flavors shining through when the alcohol's low.
Sometimes I hear your flavor combinations and think, man, that sounds really good. And then you add the word sour onto the end of it, and I'm like, man, that sounds really gross.
Yeah, I could but that's what I'm saying, though. A lot of these quote-unquote sours that get enough flavor added into them, if I didn't tell you it was a sour, I don't think you'd know it was.
I just don't understand the appeal of a beer being sour.
You like sour
and if
candy?
If it's not sour, then why call it a sour? I love sour candy, but I'm not drinking sour
But candy's
candy.
supposed to be sweet. Beers are supposed to taste like beer, but they can also be kind of sour.
I don't know, dude. That's like, do you drink sour milk?
That's different. Sour milk is spoiled.
I don't know,
You,
dude.
but
I
like
don't think about.
you've had a
There's no.
skunked beer, right?
Yeah.
Skunked beer is what bad beer when beer goes bad. Sour milk is like when milk goes bad.
No, because like think about a Stella. A Stella is supposed to taste skunky and it's delicious.
It's not supposed to, that's just Stella's skunk easily. That's my hot take. Stella's
No, a
overrated.
Stella is supposed to taste skunky.
No, it's not. It's not supposed to taste skunky.
You could have the freshest Stella in the world and it's going to be skunky.
That's just shit beer then. I don't like
Not a
Stella.
shit beer.
That's a hot take. I don't like
I like
Stella.
Stella.
I used to like Stella, and then I had other beers. There's actually a really funny story when we were at a bar one time for my friend's birthday. I ordered a Stella, and then the guy sitting next to me goes, "Oh, that sounds really good. I'll take a Stella too." And then the bartender had to be like, "Oh, that was actually our last one." And then so he got whatever. And then after the Stella, I knew it was the last one, so I was like, fuck it. I'm not like I need to drive, so I'm not gonna drink a ton. I was like, I'll take a Mick Ultra. And the guy next to me goes, "Oh, actually, that sounds really good too. I'll take a Mick Ultra." And it was the last Mick Ultra too. So it's just like this guy's like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Like he ordered 2 straight beers, copying me, and he couldn't have either of them.
Dude, there's a guy that I'm with right now for work, and we've gone out to dinner a few times. Food availability here is kind of shitty, but we've gone out to eat a couple of times now, and each time that we've gone out to eat, he's tried to order a beer, and every single time they're like, "We're out of that one," and he's like, "Okay, can I have this one?" They're like, "We're out of that one too," and it takes 3 or 4 tries for him to find a beer that's like not out. And I think that's just a product of regionality, but it hasn't happened to anybody but this one person. It's fucking hilarious.
Like I'm an advocate of just like ordering whatever you drink normally, because the chances of that happening are slim to none, of like constantly getting ordering 2 or 3 things and then being out of it. Because I hate
It's always
being
nice to try stuff that's different though. But
I hate being the guy who's like, what do you have on tap? Knowing damn well that I'm barely drinking that night. I'm just going to order a Miller Lite, Coors Light, Bud Light. Like that I know that you have on tap.
Fair.
Like,
that's
so, fair. But that's, in that guy's case, I would start just being like, what do you have? Like.
All right. Well, anyway, because of all these conversations, this is going to segue perfectly. And Jake, thank you for the inspiration for this earlier. But I would like to know, what is your favorite type / brand of energy drink? But more specifically, I want to know what flavor and why.
Okay. You told me to warn you about if you have talked about this on the podcast at this point. You have not. So you did a good job.
Well,
there.
This is a different topic. You inspired a new topic. The other one I might or might not have talked about. This is different.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Never mind. Yeah, definitely be more likely that I would talk about energy drinks in a normal scenario than you anyway.
The only reason this is inspiration too, based on what you said, is because I had one today that was delicious, and I'll talk about it in a second.
I'm now curious. If I'm ignoring the caffeine component, because normally I just grab the ones that are like higher caffeine because I'm addicted to caffeine. It's a problem. I need help. If I'm going purely off of flavor, it's the 3D energy drinks. Specifically, their green one, which is a lemon lime. It tastes like a better version of Diet Mountain Dew. Like if Diet Mountain Dew tasted good, because I think Diet Mountain Dew tastes like ass. It's one of the few diets that I hate. But it's like it tastes like a good lemon lime soda. It's like 200 milligrams of caffeine, so it's still good, but not like, some of them get like 400 milligrams of caffeine. But
what's in a coffee? I don't ever remember.
A standard cup of coffee, I want to say, is like 75 to 80 milligrams of caffeine.
You keep talking. I'll look it up.
I'm pretty sure it's 75 to 80. My math normally checks out there. But yeah, the 3D energy drinks have been some of my favorite tasting ones.
You're wrong, but nice try.
I don't think that's right. I feel like that's
Go on, anyway.
like a light roast. But yeah, it's though the 3D ones have been my favorites, like those, but they're more expensive, mostly because they're tied to like a fitness influencer, Christian Guzman. He's the one who owns the company, so inherently they're a little bit more expensive, but they're not as expensive as they used to be because they're kind of more nationally available now. Those have always been some of my favorites. Rain has some really good flavors. Specifically, I love their orange dreamsicle one. That one's my hands down favorite. The white gummy bear that they have is also really good. I still will always enjoy the regular Monster Ultras. The white one,
like the green one?
No. The
when
zero.
You say regular Monster, that's what I think.
No, it's like the most common
the white
one.
Can?
Yeah, the white can.
Yeah.
That,
All
so
right.
I do like that flavor a ton. I prefer, they have a light blue version of that same one, which is like a
Sure.
mango flavor, which is really good. And then they have the Rosa, which is kind of like more of like a grapefruity fruit punch mix kind of thing. Those are really good too. Those would probably be my top three. There are other energy drinks that I think have like singular good flavors, but like those three brands of energy drink, most of their flavors are good. Like Rockstar has a fruit punch ones, pure, like the fruit punch Rockstar Pure Zero is really good. They also have a blueberry one that I used to really like, but the more I drink it, the more shitty it tastes. So those have always been good. Um, Adrenaline Shock or Adrenal Shock, whatever the name is, those are out there. Those have a couple good flavors.
Yeah, you're definitely like much more of an expert on this than I am.
I drink
Uh,
way too many energy drinks.
I don't usually. I'm a big coffee biatch.
Yes,
I
you are.
love coffee, so I don't really fuck with energy drinks that often. And I used to a little bit more when I was younger. But I will say that I'm kind of a kind of basic, I guess, when it comes to energy drinks. And that I White Monsters, I do agree, those are pretty good. That's usually regularly available at where I work, so I get those
Yeah.
frequently because I can just buy them at work. Um, but that's only rarely still because I don't drink energy drinks that often. But that being said, in the past, one of my favorites has always been the lemonade Rockstar that they have, or like Rockstar Plus Lemonade. It's called like Recover, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
It's one of the recovery ones.
It's like Monsters Rehab line.
Yeah, because it's supposed to like hydrate you or whatever at the same
Yeah.
time. That being said, Red Bull Tropical. So I have a tendency to favor the yellow cans apparently because the Rockstar one with lemonade is yellow, but also Red Bull Tropical in a yellow can, delicious.
Yes. That's my favorite. Like if I'm getting a vodka Red Bull and I always hope that they ask me what Red Bull because I want it to
Yeah,
be that one. It's
yeah.
the blueberry one is also good, but the
I
tropical
love
is
the
the best
blueberry.
one.
But that being said, Jake, tell me your opinion before I get into my next part of this about Bang.
Bang has some flavors that I do really, really enjoy. They also have some of the most disgusting flavors that I've ever put in my mouth in my entire life. And there's no in between. With me anyway, I either love the flavor or I can't palate it. Like
Yeah,
the black cherry vanilla is really good. The cherry limeade is good. They had a guava pear. I don't know if that one's still around, but that one was really good. I now need to pull up a list of Bang flavors because, well, I worked at GNC and we carried Bangs because that was like the first like pre-workout energy drink that came out. So I've had pretty much every flavor.
I've pretty much judged the Bang movement since the beginning. I've always thought it was kind of stupid, overhyped, and I never really tried that many. But I did have a pina colada one that was pretty good. But that's not what I'm here to
Yeah.
talk about. I'm a big pina colada person. If I haven't talked about that before, I fucking love pina coladas and
Same.
coconut flavor. And so when it comes to that, like it's probably not that hard to get me on board for a pina colada anything. And I think the pina colada Bang was pretty decent. But today, I was at work. I'm feeling a little drained. I hate Bang. I talk shit about Bang. I open the fridge at work where they sell some energy drinks, and the only thing that they have is Bang. And I'm like, God damn it, I hate Bang, but I'm tired. I don't have any coffee. I kind of need a pick me up. And so I'm like, what am I going to have? And I'm flipping through the flavors, and I see key lime pie. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? How can you have a key lime pie flavored energy drink? So I pull it out, I buy it, go back to my room where I'm like working for the day, pop that bad boy open, take a sip, and I was like, that was kind of strange. I gotta take another sip of that. Take another sip, and I was like, that is strangely delicious.
Yeah.
Holy shit, I really like this. Key lime pie Bang, fucking good.
Can't say I've had that one. But I
You need
pulled
to.
up PepsiCo's website and saw that one.
Pepsi bought
And
out Bang? I didn't know that.
apparently, I didn't know it either, but um, they have a couple flavors on here that I'm intrigued to try. The Miami Cola. I feel like most cola flavored things normally turn out okay. Like
Miami Cola sounds like it'd be like a rum and coke to me.
that's kind of what I'm wondering. I want to see like a flavor profile on this. But like most cola flavored things turn out okay. Like No Explode, No Explode. They had that brand BSN Nutrition had a cola flavored BCAA, which was really good. Um,
My buddy always used to joke because we would take No Explode pre-workout, and it
yeah,
was like No Explode is like the worst possible name for that because you'd have explosive shits after taking No Explode fucking pre-workout. So we always laughed about that. But anyway, that's just a tidbit that you didn't ask for today.
I respect it though. Miami Cola is a cola. Oh, I just lost it. Shit.
Uncle Kyle says Miami Cola is disgusting.
Is nasty as fuck. You know what? You're probably right. It's a cola with hints of orange and cherry. Some describe it as being similar to a really sweet root beer or cream soda. I'm just more intrigued now. I want to try it.
Have you ever had Not Your Father's root beer, by the way?
Yes, I have. Delicious.
That shit made me want to throw up. It was way too sweet. That's what that just
I
made me
could
think
also agree with that. When I was drinking that, that's when I was very much in my like just I want sweet alcohol and nothing else.
of. Oh my god, it made me want to throw up. But anyway,
The Ghost energy drinks I have heard Ghost flavor in general, they're one of my favorite brands when it comes to how
I've heard
like
those are good too.
how they
Yeah.
flavor their products. I've heard really good things about them. The problem is by where I live, the only way I can get those is going to a GNC or like a vitamin shop or anything like that, and there's just not one close to me anymore. So I haven't really tried any of their flavors, but I very much want to. I've heard their Orange Dreamsicle is like infinitely better than the Rain one, which is a very high bar for me because Rain Orange Dreamsicle is probably my goat energy.
I'll have to try these sometime. But we're running out of time. We have less than 9 minutes remaining. So Jake, we need to get to your second topic.
Oh, that's well. Luckily for you, my last topic is pretty simple. Kyle, what's your opinion on celebrity alcohol?
Like a celebrity produced alcohol?
Yes. Have you
I don't
had
know that I've
any?
ever tried one.
You probably have without realizing it.
Throw a
But
couple big ones out at me.
Ciroc,
I've had Ciroc vodka before, yeah.
that is P. Diddy's vodka line.
That was okay.
I have a bottle of it right there. Casamigos tequila.
Haven't had that.
That is George Clooney's. That's the Reposado. I got it for free. Don't clown me, people, for overpaying for shitty alcohol.
I know people. I feel like there's quite a few celebrity tequilas now that you mention it.
There are. Kendall Jenner has one. George Strait has one that's supposedly really good. Which one is that?
I feel like I stick to pretty conventional brands of alcohol.
Codio. Codigo
So
is
I
George
probably
Strait's
haven't
tequila.
tried a majority of these, to be completely honest.
The reason I wanted to ask, right, is because it has such a negative connotation behind it. And I think where people get caught up is especially with the tequila, just because tequila is getting like farther and farther away of what tequila originally was. Tequila, like modern tequila, has a ton of additives, added flavors, sweeteners. Like
It's kind of weird for like a celebrity white dude to make a tequila too, which has definitely happened before. So yeah, I don't disagree that that's a little bit off the rails. So.
That's like all of them. Like that's most celebrity alcohol anymore. Like the only really, P. Diddy has the vodka with Ciroc. Drake has Virginia Black, which is a whiskey it sucks. I'll admit that one sucks. And then you have
you had Conor McGregor's at all?
It's fine. It's like super sweet Jameson.
I haven't had it before, but all I can ever remember is when he punched that guy in the face in that bar for not wanting to try his whiskey.
I was gonna say I've got a bottle of it right over there too. I have a couple bottles of celebrities. Yes, but I don't blame the guy for not wanting to try it. It's not that good. It's not worth.
Yeah, Connor's just like, you're gonna take a shot of my whiskey, and he's like, dude, I don't really want that, and he's like, fuck you. You know.
Well, especially like, not to go off on a tangent, but like in some of those places, like in Ireland or Scotland, like people get really attached to what they like because regionally things can be so different.
Yeah.
And his is a very much it's a mass-produced whiskey that's meant to appeal to a lot of people and sell a lot.
Again?
Proper 12.
Proper 12, that's right.
And it's fine. Like there's nothing offensive about it. It's a super sweet version of Jameson. It's like cotton candy Jameson.
That sounds like I would hate it, to be honest.
You probably would.
Because I love Jameson, and I would not want it to be a sweet.
Yeah, if you like Jameson, you won't like Proper 12. That's basically how I'll put it. But like I think a lot of alcohol that is attached to a celebrity gets knocked just because it's attached to a celebrity. And that's where I think people go wrong, because I've had a lot of like celebrity whiskeys that are really good. Like Eric Clapton has
Oh,
Heaven's
Uncle
Door
Kyle just threw it out in
whiskey.
the chat. I have had Aviator Gin, and it is
Yes.
good. And I hate gin.
I've seen a lot of gin people say that it's very good, which is
Yeah.
that's saying something because gin people are already crazy,
Yeah.
but they're even crazier about like
Gin is
stick.
fucking gross.
I
But
agree.
Aviator was not terrible.
You know Ryan, Ryan Knoll in our fantasy leagues.
I do.
I was at his house last Friday, and his girlfriend was drinking gin and cranberry juice, and I was just like, salute to you.
Pine tree cranberry.
I could see it.
Yikes.
Like it kind of makes sense.
Maybe at Christmas. That sounds like a Christmassy thing, right?
Yeah, I could.
Cranberry and pine.
I at least thought about trying it. I didn't. We were drinking expensive whiskey that he got for free, which was great.
Nice.
But I think a lot of celebrity alcohol gets knocked too much just because the celebrity's tied to it, so people assume it's meant to make money, which it
That's
is
probably
to an
very
extent.
particular to a shitty or not shitty celebrity, though, too. Like Ryan Reynolds seems like a pretty stand-up guy. I'll drink his booze. There's a lot of other celebrities that I'd be like, you're a piece of shit. I don't want to drink your booze.
Yeah, like so Kendall Jenner's tequila, which is 818 tequila. I've heard it's from tequila people that it's terrible, which I'm going to choose to believe. I've had Long Branch, which is made by Wild Turkey, but it's Matthew McConaughey's whiskey, which it's actually pretty good.
I don't like Wild Turkey, so I don't know if I'd like that, but yeah.
Bob Dylan has Heaven's Door whiskey, which I do think is very good.
Of course he has Heaven's Door.
Let's see what else. Nick Offerman has his own Lagavulin, which is like a smoky scotch. It's honestly it's probably the best celebrity tequila in like sticking true to what that style of whiskey or celebrity alcohol in sticking to that style of alcohol. Okay. Ron White has a tequila, I think. I believe
like
that.
Scotch, but I do like really. Isn't that what he was just saying? But anyway.
That's not Ron Burgundy. Nick Offerman is not Ron White. Ron White's a comedian.
Oh yes. I think you are right. I think Ron White does have. Anyway, I do like smoky whiskeys. I don't like Scotch, so I don't know if I would like that or not. But.
I think it's worth a try. Worst case, like if you see it somewhere, I wouldn't go out and buy a bottle of it. Effin' vodka. 50 Cent has Effin' vodka, which I think is pretty good. The black cherry one's really solid if you put it in Coke.
I haven't drank a flavored vodka since I was in college, so I can't really relate.
I gotta admit, it's been a while since I've had it too. Post Malone has a wine.
That can't be good.
It's a rosé. I'm intrigued now. I kind of want to try it. I bet that dude
fucking mass produces like toilet wine.
I
can't relate.
Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, has Terramana tequila, which I've never had, but I've heard decent things about it.
See, I haven't tried most of these, so I'm not surprised that I don't have much of an opinion here.
Apparently, brown sugar bourbon is Jamie Foxx's brand. Did not know that.
I haven't had that either.
Had brown sugar bourbon. It's pretty solid. A little too sweet for me, but not my favorite. But it's not terrible. But yeah, like there's a lot of celebrity alcohol, and that's really what I like. I just wanted to like get your opinion on it if you had one, just because I feel like so many people just knock an alcohol because the celebrities attached to it, and I think in a lot of cases that's correct. But I also
I think the big thing to notice here is that like a celebrity isn't producing this themselves. They're just like, I want to get into the booze industry, and then they hire some company to produce that for them, and then they sell it with their name on it. So it's not like Jamie Foxx or Matthew McConaughey are going to the distillery and making this, right? Like they hired some third party to make this for them. So I wouldn't judge it just based on the name for the most part. That being said, though, if you're a shitty celebrity, I'm probably not going to buy your booze.
Yeah. But also, I think the good celebrity booze are the situations where they actually do go to the distillers and they sample and they make the choice on the flavor as opposed to the company doing it.
They should definitely be testing it. I'm just saying that they're not like fucking producing it. It's not like they're
not brewing it out of their backyard. Yeah. And then you have to throw in Pink Whitney, which is delicious.
Have I tried it? I can't remember if I've tried that or not. I don't think I have. I've just heard you talk about it a lot, but I don't think I've actually had it.
Well, you should, because if you like pink lemonade, it's delicious.
But we're out of time. So thank you for that topic. It was a great topic.
I'm gonna let you finish, but real quick, what's your score on your final beer? Before, because we always forget the second beer.
We
I
do.
do.
Always.
I
This
don't
one
have your score
is-
from last week's second beer.
This one's a 6.6. It's worse, but it's fine.
I like it. Mine is also worse, but it's also still good. I'm gonna give it a 7-1.
Nice.
But it's interesting. It doesn't taste like, again, it's not really super sour. It's got like a spicy component to it that like, which is like the graham cracker, kind of giving it like a bready taste to it, which I enjoy.
We're going to give the people what they want. They want 1 hour podcasts. We're ending there. Thanks for coming. It's been a great podcast with you guys. These are some fun topics. Kept it chill, kept it light, kept a good time. Thanks for everybody for joining in and listening in. You can find us on the social medias at number 2 ABG Husbands on most of the podcasts most of the platforms out there. Instagram and Twitter, we are number 2 ABG Husbands. And then on Facebook, I think you can spell it all the way out and get on there. Otherwise, you can just get in our link tree and find all of our social media there. We keep saying we're going to get back into the Discord. We've been failing to do that. We will do that eventually, I promise. Especially if there's a desire for it. So if you want us in the Discord and you want to be able to chat with us in Discord as opposed to YouTube, please let us know and we'll hop in there too. Other than that, you can find Jake on Twitter at Perry_FF. You can find me at Kyle and Herson. And that's all I got. Thanks for coming. It's been fun. It's been real. It's been a great time. Jake, close us out.
As always, thank you all for joining us. Kyle already covered most of the important parts. Thank you all for tuning in. If there is anything that you want to see us talk about on the podcast, we are always open to suggestions. We will do themed episodes as well if you want to hear us talk about a specific thing for an hour. I can't promise it's going to be just that. We're going to go off on 9 different tangents inherently. It's just what we do. But as always, thank you all for tuning in. We will see you all next time. And as always, don't forget to tell somebody you love them.
Peace.
Peace.